Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is a video that is back from Christmas. I built, it's the first year actually that I've ever built my kids something for Christmas, and I wanted to do something interactive for my three boys, and I thought, you know, what better thing than a toolbox. So the toolbox wasn't the only gift. We filled those toolboxes with some basic woodworking tools for them to start out learning, and the thought behind it is that now that they have them, if I can ever stop being swamped with the schoolhouse that we're renovating, I'd like to really sit down with them and enjoy doing some father and son building projects with them. So I'm going to narrate the build as it goes through here, and let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any questions, definitely stick them in there, and I will make sure to answer them. And if you enjoy this, I really do appreciate your thumbs up. It takes a lot of time to edit these videos, and I'm still working, albeit slowly, to grow the channel. So anyway, these are the boxes are made out of western red cedar. I built 2 cedar porches. They're actually up on YouTube, the build for those. But this is all just some small scrap that was left over. Instead of throwing it away or burning it, I saved it with the idea that I could make something like this, and that's what I did. So these are 5/4 red cedar. It's not tight growth cedar like you would want to buy for woodworking. Again, I'm using just what I have, so it's pretty soft. It's tough. It's not a great woodworking material, and I kind of planned things around what I had available here for timber. So the box sizing and the design of the build was really kind of based on the material. So anyway, it's a mortise and tenon box. I'm cutting the tenons right now, and don't worry, I have my kerfing blade in there, and I am not near the blade, even though it looks like I just was pulling those chunks out. I always have a backer anytime I do anything like this. So cutting the primary tenon, and I did 2 tenons, so I'm going to run this through twice and knock out the middle. So these are the box sides, and as you can see, this is not the way you would never do a mortise and tenon like this. This is not a really strong way to do a mortise and tenon, because I'm tenoning into the end grain of this opposing side. But because of the way I designed the box, these don't really see too much stress. The handle does a really good job of holding everything together, and I wasn't too worried about it. So it's actually much more robust than I even expected. So ordinarily, though, I would have opted to orient my grain vertically, and these would have been the sides would have probably been mortised into the end. I just didn't have the material I needed to make that happen. So instead of using a coping saw or something to cut these out, this is how I opted to do it. It's quick and easy. So these are the end escutcheons. These sleeve down over the box ends, and the handle is going to be mortised through these. And due to the way it's all done, these are essentially anti-spreaders, and so any tension that those end caps that I was cutting the tenons on earlier, any push they would have to try to spread the box apart, these handles are really working against that, and so that kind of gave me the freedom to do this design the way I did. So I originally wanted to dovetail the box, but this is about a week before Christmas, and I just didn't have the time to go that crazy. I also made my daughters a gift as well. I didn't video that, but They like dolls, and I made them the American Girl doll refrigerator. So that was another project I had on the list here to do. So a couple of these handle ends were rough cut, so I just had to clean them up there. So again, this is how I chose to remove that mortise out of the end caps there. I just used my Hell Chisel mortiser. Just a good way of, convenient way of just getting rid of bulk material for final pairing. And in the future, if you want to stay tuned and subscribe, I do actually, one of my upcoming videos is going to be a toolbox build with the boys, and I'm going to be doing that build with a little bit of backstory, and I also, I'm hoping it'll be useful to some other dads and grandfathers, etc. out there. You know, if you're not super into woodworking, you don't have a lot of woodworking skill, but you would like to do something, an experience that your son or grandson or daughter or granddaughter will remember for the rest of their lives. I'd like to make that available to you for just something to look at to give you a real easy, simple project to build with somebody you care about. So. And here I'm just final stage here, just cleaning this up with a chisel. I actually edited this whole video and did all my voiceover work, and only to realize my microphone was muted. So this is tight. This is my second round on this. So. Alright, so these are the handles. This is where the handle mortise is going to be. So, just like everything else, I'm just using a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch hollow chisel mortiser to stab my mortise hole through the bulk of it, and then I come through after and pare it down the rest of the way. I know a lot of people don't like the music, but I frequently get people that mention that they don't like the music, but I just feel like it's kind of bland without anything in the background, so I hope it's not too obnoxious. I have it down pretty low, but... Alright, so this is the main handle. So this is cut out of some 7/8 1x material that I had, and I'm just kerfing the ends for my tenon shoulders. And this is, I've got a 3/4 inch dado blade on there, and this is how I just, simple way of just removing the bulk of the shoulder material on the two tenon faces. I could have done the edges the same way, but I opted to just run a handsaw down those to tenon those up. I'm just checking the fit there. So I'm going to grab this is a Stanley Carriage Makers plane. I believe it's a number 4. And I was cleaning up the shoulders. I actually prefer this plane over my Lie-Nielsen block plane sometimes for stuff like this. It's got good feel in your hands. I like the size of it. Just makes kind of pushing through a soft end grain like this real clean. Anyway. So now I'm marking out my shoulders. Like I said, I could have done that with the dado blade, same as the other sides, but I opted to just run a saw down. It seemed pretty quick and easy to do it that way instead of, 5 passes with the table saw. This is my workbench, by the way, my Rubo workbench. If you haven't seen it, I have a video on the build on this, and then a 3-part slow how-to on the build. I've had this bench apart 4, 5, 6 times now, and moved it, and I'm very happy with the way I designed and built it, because it would have been almost impossible had I built this with any other design that I have seen. So as you saw there, I had the handles there fit into the end brackets, and because the end brackets are curved, I've scribed that curve, and what I'm doing now is using the spoke shave and just cleaning the exposed end of that tenon up so that it looks nice coming out of the handle, or out of the handle of scutcheon. And then this is how I chose to connect those together. So I was kind of going mentally for like a little bit of an Asian, Japanese feel to these boxes. There's no like incredible Japanese joinery in them or anything, but that was why I opted to make long pegs that stick out. It reminded me of the way Japanese women do their hair. They use those. I don't know what you'd call them, but they're like sticks they put in their hair, and that was actually what inspired the way the box is done. So my disc sander is still put away. I still don't have it set up. So this was my second option for shaping these parts. I had to leave when we moved. I had to give away my oscillating spindle sander with the belt sander attachment. So I have a big belt sander, disc sander out in the garage, but I do not have the wood shop running yet, so I'm still roughing it. So these are the box ends, which are where the tenons are, and because I'm doing a stubbed tenon, I like to pre-shape those tenon ends. I've marked them so I know how far my radius can go back, but I like to pre-radius those like that so that when I do my glue up, I don't have to go back and try to sand those without scuffing up the pairing piece. And these are the pins that are going to be holding both the handle of scutcheons to the box ends, as well as the handle of scutcheons themselves to the handle. So you can see as I'm gluing this up, you can see one of the handles has already been assembled right there with the other parts sitting on top of it. So those were pre-assembled and glued and pegged, and then I put the boxes together and slid them down after. And I wish I could have sound of the work as I'm doing it. I do prefer to film that way, but again, if you haven't been following along, this is all being actually built in the schoolhouse that we're renovating into a bed and breakfast. So I have 6 kids clamoring about, and music in the background, etc. There's just no way for me to filter it out, so I don't really have a choice right now but to cut out most of my audio from my recordings, because it's just chaos in the background. So this is, my wife's actually finishing this for us. We opted to go with an amber shellac. It's a natural finish. It's a very easy finish to apply. It's an excellent finish to have to reapply later when it gets scuffed and scratched, so it made sense for a functional toolbox. And it really brings out the beauty of cedar as well. So we went ahead and amber shellacked the 3 boxes, and I will try to find a good thumbnail for the end of this with the 3 boxes to show you. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this if you made it through this far, and as I said before, I really do appreciate any likes and subscribes, and also comment away, and as I said, I would be happy to answer any questions if this is something that inspires you to maybe build something or for a young one. Well, I guess anybody. Yeah, I'd be happy to answer those questions. So, thanks for watching.